if Love and Hip Hop Atlanta never comes back, especially with this particular class, I'm not going to be mad because I realize everyone is just a little too... Look, okay, so this is my recap, my review for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 5, Episode Reunion Part 2, Exposed and Unfiltered. Trash. Just Part 2 of trash. It was just a lot more content, but still trash. You know what would have made it better? Oh yeah, please like, comment, subscribe if you're a first-time viewer. If you're a returning viewer, please like and comment on this video. And thank you for watching. Now, the issue, one of the main issues with the show is that why is it that, oh my gosh, it's just, this was just stupid. They could have cut and edited we didn't need to see the clips to remind us of the foolishness that happened. All of that wasting time, you know, that was just filler. That was just filler. What they could have done is take all of that out. Take all of it out. And just condense it into one solid hour of them bickering back and forth. And that will be more appealing than what we got. This cut and paste. This cut and paste Vizio crap. Now, we talked to Tammy, and because, again, we know about what's going on in their real lives, it's like there's nothing special about any of this. Tammy talks about how even though her and Waka aren't talking, you know, at that time, because they're back together now, they are, she is talking to Deb. She still loves Deb regardless. She had to do what she needed to do for her and her family, and I'm just thinking to myself, that's all great, that's all well and good. Bambi's saying how she knows her friend, so she knows that at the end of the day, her friend's gonna want Waka, and Waka loves her, and Waka just needs to do better. And Tammy agrees. Then we go and switch gears, and guess who we're talking to next? Guess who we're talking to next? We're talking to the one and only Mimi. Well, actually, before that, do I want to say before that or after that? Well, we'll talk about Mimi's relationship with Chris. Stevie J was surprised because he was just like, Chris was a little harder than I would have expected from Mimi. Rashida's saying, just do you, boo. Do you. And so they're talking to Chris, and I'm like, Chris, are you sure you want to be about... Let me stop. Let me stop. Of course, Arian was there, and Arian was thrilled because it was just like, I've been telling you half for years that Mimi was lesbo. Is that offensive? A lesbian. That she was a lesbian. We're like, okay, Arian, you called it. You called it. Yes, you did. We already thought there was something between the two of you, but I guess not. Did you want something to be between the two of you? That'd be interesting. Never mind. Now, Arian, of course, has to talk because the issue was, remember, she wanted to know about what was going on with them sexually. Chris wasn't feeling that. Chris felt like it wasn't your business. Nina's like, okay, Arian, so why'd you do it? Arian's very, we'll use the word inquisitive. And so Arian needed to know. Did she really need to know? No. Mimi expected that. That was her friend. There's this big commotion because Arian, excuse me, Chris is just like, you know, I didn't appreciate the fact that you were coming at me about my sexuality, my gender, and all of that. It's just like, you know, you're a part of the LGBTQ community, and because you're a part of the community, you should know that. How dare you go and even insinuate, say anything and make little sly jokes about me while I'm going through. I don't have money, so I don't have the money to go and get hormones or have insurance to go and do the, I almost say transformation, Lord Jesus. Well, do the surgeries to transition. And why am I taking this so serious? I don't care. Mimi was like, duh, I didn't like you as much as you liked me. That's the reality. Chris still loves Mimi. Mimi doesn't give two flip-flops. Mimi is still in a relationship with another woman. So there is that. We get to Jocelyn. Jocelyn is on this whole thing of, yeah, I'm pregnant. Of course we know it's true. We actually know it's true because Stephanie, one of the executive producers of the show, or producers, however you want to phrase it, she was there. She was there. And she saw Jocelyn take the test. Jocelyn talks about how she's over 3 months, she hasn't had her period in over 3 months and all of that. And it's Stevie's. And of course she was offended. It was just like, what do you mean? Is it Stevie or is it not Stevie's? Jocelyn, we know you, so yes, we have to ask. Yes, we have to ask. Carly Red and Jessica Dime. Carly Red, she didn't need to change. I actually liked how she looked in the white. Jessica looked like a big chandelier. A human-sized chandelier. And also, one of those characters on the Power Rangers. Not one of the good guys, the villains. But I still like Jessica Dime. Believe it or not, I do like Jessica Dime. Anyway. They talk about her relationship with Scrap and how she did visit Scrap and how it doesn't matter what anyone says because at the end of the day, it is what it is. They talk about Tommy. Tommy is loose cannon. Even Stephanie was just like, yeah, Tommy definitely has a case of she'll turn up 1 minute and then she'll turn all the way down. And you have the guys, Kirk, Scrappy, and Jock saying how, you know, Tommy's crazy, but she's hot crazy. And it's just like, would I ever go there? No, because she's too crazy. But, yeah, oh, Lord, I don't care. All right, what's next? We find out that Tiara was just saying how, you know, my issues with Tommy, they shouldn't have never occurred. I should have never fought her because at the end of the day, this issue was really with Scrap. Scrap was playing all of us. So with that being said, you know, I didn't like how I handled that situation. And they were talking about how Tommy wasn't wearing any underwear. It's just like, where'd your drawers go? Where'd your drawers go? They're just shocked about the whole situation. And it's just like, yeah, well, anyway. Carly Red talks about how, you know, she, like I said, she visits Scrap. She's there for Scrap. She's cool with Scrap. Tommy's like, Carly Red was just Scrap's sloppy seconds. It was the type of situation where Scrap needed something because he knew he was going to jail. So we were on a break. So he went to Carly Red and did what he did. And that was that. That was that. It was just a snack. And not even an entertaining one. And here comes Stevie J saying, you know, she's the mouth of the South. Almost like, Stevie, you're a little too old for this. You're a little too old for this. Let's just stop this right here. Let's just stop this right here. It was what it was. It was what it was. It was funny though how, oh yeah, and dang, how did I forget this? When Chris was going after Arian and saying, you know, you opening your mouth so much and doing this and that, and she was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get one of my girls to beat you up. And aside from that, it's just like, why are you talking? If you spend so much time, if you spent half the amount of time that you spend on your hair, not worrying about other people, your life would be a lot easier. And it was just like, where are your edges? Where are your edges? Chris, don't come back on the show. Anyway, she was like, I came on the show for you. I came on the show for Bibi. We don't care. Tiara talks about how she, she, like I said, she doesn't hold anything toward a grudge towards, what's her name? Carly. And Carly's just like, yeah, you know, we talked, we're good, we're good. Tiara is definitely good because she's currently pregnant. Not only is Tiara pregnant, she's actually married. She's married to this guy who, now this is the foolery. That's why we knew the King storyline was completely fake. Because we're thinking, wait a minute now. You've been seeing this guy for a while, which means you just brought Jay Nix onto the show just for show because your actual guy didn't want to be on the show. Just like with Scrap. Scrap's actual girlfriend / baby mama didn't want to be on the show. So instead, they have, they brought on Tommy. Now, the thing is that Karen, she found out about the situation of Tiara being pregnant. She was like, oh, okay, congratulations to her. Congratulations, finally married this time. I was like, okay, this is unnecessary. Why is she? So now they go to Scrap and they talk about how Scrap going away to prison, how hard it was for all of them, and they're all getting teary-eyed. And Sierra's and Karen was saying how, you know, it's really hard because Scrap really does love Tommy. She just doesn't know how much he loves her, and that's why she acts that way. I'm like, what type of love is that? What type of love is that? And then aside from that, you have You have, yeah, and everyone's feeling bad about Scrap going in. But I am tired of them trying to do the whole thing of, well, you know what he did, even though it was illegal, it's not as bad compared to some of the stuff that's going on. Yes, it's very true, but in the state of Georgia, you can't be, because it's not like he just had weed on him. He was already a convicted felon of sorts, and then he got caught breaking the law of trafficking. That was the main issue. So I don't care if you're, unless you're trafficking medication to the homeless and needy, I'm not going to feel bad for you. I'm not. And this was interesting to see how, of course, they were talking to the men, and they talked to Scrap, and Scrap talked about how he understands because he went away for a moment and having to explain that to his daughter. And then you have Jock, who's just like, you know, let's just thank God that he's not dead. And I'm like, why is it that Jock always sounds rational on the reunions? And even on the show, when he's not around the women, his mind is clear. I'm like, what the hell's with this dude? And then Kirk, whatever you said was null and void, because I'll never forget when you wanted to do you, what was it, 2 or 3 seasons ago, and you didn't want to be a father anymore, you didn't want to be a husband anymore, so whatever you said was truly null and void in my eyes. Now Karen and that dog, we saw that dog running around the house before, but Karen has a secret, has some stories to tell, and it has to do with Tiara. Long story short, there's a woman who came to her and said that King is not Scrap's son. She said that her son looks just like King and that her baby father is not Scrap. For a moment, I almost believed that. For a moment. If it wasn't for the fact that King looks just like the rest of the other kids, I would have, you almost had me. Now again, they keep doing this like post-reunion stuff, where it's just like, okay, a couple of days later, she was informed that, Scrap, Karen said this, and so Tiara said, King is Scrap's son. I'm like, what type of pause is that? Did you have to think about yourself? Anyway, and Karen got arrested. As we know, she got arrested, but she never served jail time, at least not yet. She's saying, you know, there are a couple of warrants, I'm not taking them too seriously. We talk about the bird incident and how Mama D got the bird's nest, and she said she actually got it from what was it, like a horse or a dog thing? So it's basically poop and feces and fested. I'm thinking, so you actually picked that up, put it in your purse, took it out of your purse, put it on someone else's. You crazy. I love you, but you crazy. Mama Shirlene is just looking at her like, this child. Someone get Mama D. Right, she is like, oh, so am I still a bagged egg? No, baby, you're not a bagged egg. And Curtis, apparently he had an aneurysm of sorts. And so we're going to pray for Curtis because we want him to live a long, prosperous life. We absolutely do. We don't want anything bad to happen to Curtis. And I feel bad for Scrappy because that sex scene, that it really was like old people porn, like whatever you call the category. No bueno. No bueno. So now Carly has to talk to Life, and here's how this whole thing goes. Carly wants to know, were you dating that woman? Is she really your baby's mother? I know she's your baby's mother, and Life's just like, it is what it is. You know, I didn't want to be with you. You're crazy. And she's just like, you're broke. Why do I want to be with you? The ring was fake. The jewelry that you have on is fake. Everything that I have on is real. I have real money. I'm real balling compared to you. And then both of them wanted Jessica Dime to interject, but Jessica Dime couldn't get a word in because one simple reason. Carly was just like, you are this, you are that. Like, Carly, calm down. Damn. And apparently Carly and Jock are actually talking again. Like, Lord, storyline for season 6. I'm disgusted. And that's the thing about Jessica Dime. Jessica Dime is not memorable when she's not talking. She really is pretty much like a wallflower. You don't notice her. You do not notice her if she's not talking or personally trying to interject herself into certain situations. And I realized that during this reunion. I'm like, oh crap. Wow. I pretty much stopped caring about her as soon as she was out of the picture. Now, but I still like her, regardless of what anyone else says. And they call in, what's his name, Steven, one of the producers. He calls in Stevie, and after hours of like holding his hand, they get him to finally film with Jocelyn, and Stephanie goes and gives him the birth control. And so Jocelyn's pregnant, and here's the thing. Neither of them want to apologize to each other. Stevie's not even convinced the kid is his yet. He's just like, we'll let the courts handle it. Screw you, I don't like you, I can't be around you, I can't deal with you, you're the worst. Jocelyn was just like, you know, for better or for worse, this is what it is, I'm going to take care of my baby regardless, he's not even going to have your last name. Stevie's whole thing is, you've been slaughtering me online, and you really think that I'm going to go and pretend like everything's all well and good? No. And so, maybe for season 6, Jocelyn and Stevie J will finally not be together, which means that I guess their show isn't coming back, which is perfectly fine with me. That's it, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Yeah. It was still trash.